Well, joining me now from Paris, France, is the one and only Mike Tirico. Mike, I appreciate you making the time. You're a busy man. You're hosting both daytime coverage and NBC's primetime in Paris. So I want to start with what it's like to be in that role. How do you balance your day and how do you prepare?
I think it's all of us who work the Olympics. We don't sleep much these 17 days, but you want to get up because if you sleep, you miss some great event, some record-setting performance, some performance of a lifetime. There's an adrenaline rush and an excitement and enthusiasm to the Olympics. I think we've all worked on projects, whether they are presentations or an event that you're trying to pull together in your community, that you sacrifice sleep for success. And this is one for the people who are involved in this. And from our research team to our producers to our technicians, everybody's in the same boat. A little bit of sleep, a lot of laughs and coffee along the way. And it's an honor, really, to be bringing the Olympics home to the folks back in the U.S., and that keeps us going on a regular basis.
Yeah, and still plenty more to come. We're officially in week 2 of the Paris Olympics. There's been so many wonderful, magical moments, surprise moments that remind us just how special the Olympics are. What has been a favorite moment of yours, or even like the biggest surprise where you're like, wow, I can't believe I just witnessed that?
Well, my biggest surprise is how smoothly it has gone to this point. You know, we're talking about a massive undertaking, obviously. It's the largest peacetime gathering you have in the world, really, if you think about it. People from over 200 countries and delegations coming together in the spirit and name of sport and competition. But to do it across Paris, that opening ceremony, a lot of us were wondering how they're going to pull this off. Well, they pulled it off. Maybe been some controversy along the way. There was a lot of rain, but they pulled off an opening ceremony, not in a stadium, but through one of the greatest cities in the world. That's remarkable to think about. And the way that the Parisians have welcomed this and celebrated this, every day it feels like there's more passion, more connection with the people who live here. And I'll remember big performances by Simone Biles and Katie Ledecky and all those folks, and the great teams we've seen from the U.S. and other countries performing at their best. But if you ask me with 4 or 5 days left, what's the one thing that you think will be the takeaway from these games? It'll be Paris. The way this city has made this Olympics come to life at a time the Olympic Games needed it. I think it's been just a perfect connection of city and timing for the Olympics to keep the Olympic spirit going as we get ready to host the home Olympics in Los Angeles in 4 years.
Yeah, well, since you're there experiencing it firsthand, and you said Paris has really done a great job keeping that Olympic spirit alive, what do you think LA can take away from this time around at the Olympics that they can maybe implement when it comes to 2028?
You know those long legal pads where you start making a list and there's a lot of things on the list? I think they've got a long one now, what they've seen Paris do in terms of connecting with the athletes and the city being a part. But LA's got great plans as well. No, I think it's the love of sport in America. People are going to come from all over the country. We have not had a summer games in the U.S. in over 30 years. So for a lot of folks, they are not old enough to remember the Olympics being in their country. And that passion. And there's also always a home nation bump where if you are the host nation, it seems like your athletes perform at their best. And I was speaking with a discus thrower from the United States, and she shared with me that as she was watching a French woman compete during these games, she had a little bit of an inspiration to come back and do it again in 4 years because she saw the energy of being and participating in a home Olympics. And I think that tells you what LA and America can bring. So these are athletes, if they're striving to get to the Olympics and they're neighbors of yours in North Carolina, get behind them, support them, and help them live their dream, because one of them could be a hometown hero in 4 years and make America proud all the way across the country.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're putting money on it, you're saying maybe some folks who would consider retiring that compete for Team USA are going to hold out and say, I'm going to go one more go round. 2028 in LA, I want to compete on home turf.
There's no doubt in my mind that that's the case. Now, can they physically? I don't know. Will they be able to? They don't know. But I bet you there are going to be people who, if this Olympics was held in Brisbane, Australia, where the 2032 Olympics are going to be, probably would say, okay, that's the end of the run. I've given enough to this sport. But a lot of folks are going to try to hang on for one more, because talk to any athlete who competed in LA 84 or Atlanta 96 or in the Winter Games Salt Lake in 2002 or Lake Placid in 1980, and they'll tell you there's nothing like winning medals, winning a gold medal in your country. So I think we're going to see a lot of folks try to hang on for a little bit.
Yeah, certainly looking forward to that. And before we wrap up, I do want to ask, because part of the coverage that NBC has been giving us is some entertainment as well, right? Bringing in some special guests, or you have some new co-hosts. But what's it been like to have folks like Snoop Dogg next to you doing his own version of calling highlights?
Yeah, it's every day in my life that I walk around the corner and Martha Stewart's on the couch next to me, or Snoop, or the folks from Saturday Night Live. It's certainly been a little different for us, but I think it's been fun. The Olympics appealed to everyone from 9 to 79 and beyond. You get little kids watching with their grandparents. It's summertime. Maybe you have folks who are visiting their families and they're at a beach house or they're somewhere spending summer together because of school vacations, and they can watch the Olympics together. Well, we're giving you a little bit of that broad spectrum with the people who are talking about it. And what we found is they all love the Olympics. Like all the celebrities who come here, or the people like Martha and Snoop, who you mentioned before, they're Olympic fans. It's genuine, it's real. And to see people who we know, some of those famous and recognizable people in American pop culture, have this true, genuine love for the Olympics and the Olympians, I think it gives the Olympic movement a boost, but it also lets everybody at home know, hey, this is sports, it's competition, but it also appeals to more people perhaps than even an NFL game or an NBA game. So that's been the fun for us, and we're glad that they've connected, and, hanging with Snoop's pretty cool.
I'm sure it is. We appreciate your time. We appreciate getting to hang with you and you joining us from Paris. Looking forward to the rest of your coverage and the rest of the games, Mike.
That's kind. Thank you so much. Great to visit with you.